Hey, this is Chuck Marshall with Metal Wani, and I'm talking to Jeff Becerra of Possessed. Jeff, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, Chuck? It's good to talk to you, man.
I'm doing great, man. It's really cool to be able to talk with you. So after 33 years, Possessed has a new album called Revelations of Oblivion coming out on Nuclear Blast on May 10th. Word of you guys working on this new album started circulating around 2012, and we finally have the new album at our door. I was wondering what led to the delays in getting the album released.
Well, I mean, it wasn't so much a delay as that, well, yeah, there was some delay, but I think we kind of jumped the gun on saying summer of 2018 because initially, in like if you say 2012, that's because we were saying we're going to write new material then. Right. We weren't originally. We were just going to play live new material. We weren't going to sign or anything. And so, I mean, the process of once we made the demo, we just were like kind of on a whim. We're like, well, let's shop it around and see what's going on. So that process went relatively quick, except that, you have to negotiate the contract, which took like a year and a half or whatever. And then, well, I mean, it didn't take that long, but I mean, people procrastinate, right. Whether it be a lawyer, whatever. Right. And then I don't know how much I should go involved in this, but also like, there's a whole gearing up. Even what we're doing now is like part of the process. Yeah. Because you want to reach as many people as possible. Like I know a lot of my Facebook friends were like, "Where's the fucking album?" Right? And when I was talking to Gerardo Martinez, he's really been a good friend to me. Like, I don't know, we must email each other like 30 times a day or something, but he's like super cool. It's like he's he's like a scion of the industry, but yet like my buddy. So I feel really proud about that. He's it took me a long time to like trust people again, and so like he's been really cool, and like I'm sure people just get fucking sick of me because I'm an asshole, but and I'm difficult, but there's reasons to my methods, and and I think that I'm from the old school where like like I'm not just gonna we don't just say yes to everything, and they I mean, I don't know, honestly. I guess what happens is there's a lot of gearing up. My official answer is there's a lot of gearing up. Instead of reaching thousands, you try to reach millions, and that's part of the whole machine. What is Nuclear Blast? And I trust their methods.
Cool. The new music. I had a chance to listen to the album. It's really fantastic.
Yeah.
It's full of that burning speed and viciousness that made Seven Churches like a classic metal album. And I was curious, like a lot of death metal bands today embrace that kind of deep guttural vocal technique. And you still maintain that that really great mid-range harsh rasp. I was wondering, were you at all tempted on the new album to experiment with like a deep guttural vocal at all?
What I do is like, because the way I originally started singing, because I'm a bass player. Yeah. I started with drums and I went to guitar, and Larry. We started a band, but like I originally was going to play guitar, but then we found guys that could play better than me. Right. As like a rhythm, we had Larry Lalonde and Danny Bowen, and Danny had an SG, a real Gibson, while we were all playing copies. Right. So I was relegated to bass. They were like, why don't you just play bass? And I was like, fuck it. As long as there's a space for me in Blizzard or Marauder than Blizzard. This is 1979. I was 11 years old, like scrabbling for a bass. So I forget what we're talking about. I'm like such a harebrained. But no. Well, so I would sing backups, but I'd always try to like sing in my normal voice, like because I don't know. I like being me. Like I don't like being somebody else. So but originally I'll tell you that when I originally started singing for Possessed, because they were like, "Can you sing?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a singer." I have a long history of bullshitting my way into good jobs. So, and because I'd sang backups on like, fucking, Bang Your Head or something, like one time. when I was drunk at a party or something, you know.
Right.
And so what was I going to say? So I tried out, and originally we're like, you know, we knew we'd already discussed trying to be the heaviest, most satanic, fastest, brutal, fucking starting death metal and calling ourselves death metal, and being like the only death metal band on the planet, and really coming out and stepping over the line and just essentially just fucking just shitting on everything and fucking you know, thumbing our noses in the, like, you just being super rebellious and outlaw, right? So first came out into the mic, I was like, you know, super low, like, and it was so over, like powering, like the guys, I could see that they weren't digging it because, well, I mean, they were digging it, but they were like, their eyes just got like fucking plates, right? They were like trying to be nice, you know, not hurt my feelings. Jeff, could you just maybe if you tone it down like half of that, you know? And I was like, really? I thought that felt good, you know? Yeah. And I used to have those original tapes, but it sounded very much like, you know, that super deep. And even though, you know, but I mean, I don't have that super bassy throat, but it was very, very, very fucking heavy, and it was just too much, you know what I mean? Like, and even Seven Churches, like, I wish I could hear the words more sometimes. I mean, it's killer like it is, of course, but, you know, I wanted to really clean up the words and put a little bit more range into in Revelations of Oblivion.
Yeah, well, and it's good. You can actually get the you know, the message of the songs comes through really clear. The song Abandoned is this bone crusher. I mean, it's just racing along at breakneck speeds. And there's plenty of other, like, really hellishly heavy songs, like Ritual, The Word, and Damned. You know, all those songs are just heavy as hell. What was the writing process like for you guys? Did you guys, like, get together, you know, put some riffs and then complete a song? Or was it more basic ideas and fleshing them out in the studio?
Well, The Word, I fucking wrote, like, every riff to that song in, like, 3 hours. Or, you know, like, I mostly, like, I had it in my head already. And I mostly had to just practice how to play it so that I could play it well enough to portray to Dan what I wanted, you know? Right. Because, you know, I play bass, so on guitar I have to fuck with the pick, and and so I wanted to just, you know, make it sound right. So I just mostly took, like, maybe probably, you know, a couple weeks to, like, practice the song, so I could record it through an external mic in this fucking laptop I'm talking in right now. Right. I just hit record and play through a little battery operated, like, peanut shaped guitar I have here. It's called a Fernandes Nomad. It's got a little built-in speaker and runs on a 9-volt battery. Oh, cool. And you just turn it on and play. I play it just really shitty fuzzy tones through the and I set all the riffs together. I email them to Dan and say, here's, you know, check this out, and then he sews them together and you know, works his magic. And he's a, you know, producer and an engineer by, you know, he went to college for all that. Right. So then he does it in, like, real guitar and with a drum machine. Then he'll send it off to Bobby, who will then light up some bass. Then he'll take a trip to LA, who will set up the mics and change the drums into real drums. And of course he's got his solos. Then he'll go to Claudius. He'll send it to Claudius. Claudius will play his solos, you know, because they all have recording software. And then he'll fly out to my house in my basement. We'll set up a vocal mic and a windscreen in my downstairs room and yell out some vocals. And that's how we got, like, you know, the original, like, the demo. And of course we have a hidden click track, so you can take all that as the foundational work for the album. Right. And you know, so that you know, it's kind of like junior college. You know, instead of paying for an expensive school, you can just kind of do all the beforehand, and you know, scratch guitars, and so we try to be efficient that way, so that, you know, if you're going to do something, like, be forward thinking and you know, like, don't end up doing, like, 10 times the work for, you know. Right. But also, yeah. Essentially, in Ritual, I just I was fucking with patterns on the E string. You know, in fact, I was fucking with patterns on the E string that were literally just like half steps.
Okay.
And going, well, that sounds really cool on Ritual.
Right.
And I was like, fuck, that sounds really heavy. Like, I can totally see this, right? So I just sent the riffs to Dan, and I like that you picked my songs. Except for Abandon's, Dan wrote that one, and that one, I don't know where the fuck is. But I know that he takes a bit longer. Like, he's like, Dan, you have to like almost force to jump over a cliff, you know, like, because he's like, I don't know. He wants it to be perfect. Yeah. I'm just like, show me what you got. He's like, wait, you know, wait, not yet. Like, bro, show me what you got. And then that's how we got Abandoned. So, but Dan's really good. So,
talking about the artwork for Revelations of Oblivion, and that it's so intense. There's a ton of detail in that image. It evokes that concept of darkness that the album title suggests. And I was wondering, did you provide any direction to, and I'm probably going to butcher his name, Zbigniew Bialik?
I just call him Z.
Z? Yeah. When you're approaching him about the artwork?
Bro, you don't know me very well, because like, I'm like, dude, I'm involved, like, I'm so bossy. Like, I'm like fucking, fucking balls deep in everything. So, yeah, exactly. In fact, the whole concept of this, and I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just being truthful.
Right.
Like, because people are like, why does this sound like Possessed? I'm like, fuck, it's still me, right? Like that's not something like, like I did or like was a weekend warrior at. It's like something that was so like ingrained in a part of who I am, and so after so long, it just becomes a piece of you, like embedded in your soul. It's like a muscle memory. But anyway, so what I wanted to do is build on the foundations of the old, much like the demo. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm going to seed it all together, right? But no, I'm just kidding. Get too drafty. The professional interview. Oh, God. Oh, man. I'll be like Tony fucking Robbins and give like interview lessons and shit. Oh, fuck. Okay, I didn't sleep much last night, so I'm about to go hysterical. All right, so what was I saying? So anyway, so the original Seven Churches album, it's hard for me not to call it Seven Chickens because we did it on the Chicken Ranch, and every time we fire up the amps, all the fucking chickens would run from one side to the opposite side of the fence, and all the horses and shit would like run to the fucking as far to the extreme side of the ranch, right? Like they were just like so freaked out and hysterical every time we'd fire up the amps in the morning. It was fucking hilarious. I don't know, but they had a beer machine, dude. Like it was like a Coke machine, but filled with beer.
Oh,
and
awesome.
And they had a 50-gallon drum of fucking California Green Bud. It was fucking sick, dude. We partied with cheer and shit. It was fun. Did you know that Blue Cheer have their own brand of acid, which is kind of cool?
Seriously?
Yeah. You know that song, Summertime Blues?
Yep.
Yeah, Blue Cheer is fucking cool, man. Anyway, so I digress. So the original Seven Churches album was a church, very much like a really remedial and shitty version of the one that Z did. But it got declined because it was like a fucking nun hanging from a tree with like a demon owl holding the chain that she's holding from wrapped around her neck, and in a cemetery with like the gravestones had like cracked upside down crosses and our names on each of the tombstones, and then like pentagram stained glass windows, and it was very cathedral, like a Catholic, satanic Catholic church,
Right.
Very much like this one. And so I was always kind of irked, even though with 2020 hindsight, the black simple version of Seven Churches is that actually it's heavy, yeah. So So I wanted to go back, and since this is both building upon the foundations with respect to the old, and my old guys, and and very much bringing Possessed into the this to be a 2019 band. So then I laid that kind of speech on Z and said that I originally wanted the Possessed to be the stained glass, like the logo, really ornate, like Gothic stained glass, like like an Armageddon type, but it didn't really work, like it was too complicated and the logo didn't pop.
Yeah. So
just made real stained glass and kind of built a church, kind of around all that. And Z was, I don't know what his process is, but like he works with real materials and is long, and it starts out really blurry and then it clears and clears and clears and clears. So the longer you give him, the clearer it gets.
Yeah, it's a great image, man, and it fits the album so well. It's perfect match.
Yeah, and he was really Z was really keen on getting the lyrics and the music early, and he like incorporated. It's like a satanic Where's Waldo, like of the lyrics. Yeah, like you can see some of the lyrics hidden within the structures of the church.
Yeah, that's what I thought was so cool. Is all that detail like just wraps into the music. Once you get into the music, you're like, holy shit! It's like kind of the old school approach of an album cover, like really adds to a dimension to the music.
Yeah, because a lot of metalheads like to buy the physical product.
Yep.
The box sets, and it's cool to have all that fucking demonic imagery and just cool shit to look at and to have. And I know they, like with Seven Churches, they did a revamp of it, and they had like 7 little cardboard fold out churches that you could fold together. It was pretty trippy. They were like little origami things. It was from Japan.
Awesome.
And it's cool. It's cool to have like this shit. You're like, I don't know if you're like that, but I like to have like stuff I can hold and own.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, definitely have the physical things. So so kind of talking about like music and death metal, like back in the 80s when death metal was just getting going. How does that compare to what you see in the death metal scene today?
Well, back then, being the only death metal band on the planet sucked. So, of course, I like, the more, I mean, to survive and to become a genre.
Right.
Because originally, our intention was that Possessed would be the only death metal, quote unquote, band on the world, and that's how that will set us as different than the rest, right?
Right.
And, that's so naive thinking about it, but. Nobody could tell the future.
Right.
But we struggled and struggled and struggled, and like nobody wanted to hear it. We'd say we're death metal, and everybody would go, "You're thrash." I was like, "Listen, man, thrash is like all happy and shit. Like, see us in fucking surfer shorts and fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like we're not thrash. We might be thrashy, but thrash has that." It's like a happy little skippy, thing to it, and death metal is very not happy. It can bring joy, but
for sure,
it's not innately. And also, thrash like never steps over the line. They're super polite. They cut their bangs, they feather their hair, and like fuck all that shit. I'm lucky if I even brush my hair or wash. Anyway, so no, I have good hygiene, but that's a lot. But no, I'm just kidding. But I'm saying I keep getting lost. So so when Chuck came around and was like one of the first people to really get into Possessed, and I correspond to letters and phone calls, and he moved out to kind of mentor by us and check out and what we were doing, and and later starting Death, and especially after I got shot, and then you had Chuck, which was, I guess you could call him part of maybe the second wave or maybe the first and a half wave It'd be at least a few years before death came. We'd already been touring by 83.
Right.
And Seven Churches was written almost entirely by 82. So, but anyway, we're not going to get historical. So it was great when Chuck pushed it in a new direction, but people are so simple. I know people have to be smarter than this, but because there were two death metal bands then the media wanted to push, even though me and Chuck were super close, they spun this wildly fucking fictitious battle, who's the real one, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it just, and I think the record companies were wanting to sell death, but me and Chuck would have never, we probably would be, hopefully we would have jammed together,
Right.
But and so that was kind of really weird, because what I saw it as is death metal just got a little bit more wondrous. Now you can do all this, what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like all, Seven Churches, Beyond the Gates, and Eyes of Horror, we tried to make very different in composition, because we didn't want to get buttonholed into just playing Seven Churches type music. Yeah. We wanted, the whole idea behind death metal is do whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want to do it, and however the fuck you do it, right? It's not a set of you have to have Cookie Monster vocals, Popcorn Machine drums, and you have folk death metal now it's there's just some wondrous I don't know if it's great. You can do there's so much freedom, and I think it gives the genre itself a lot more longevity,
Right. Yeah, with so many different subgenres and just so much interest, overall over that huge span of time, there's still tons of death metal, and Possessed is back in it, so it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be judgmental people that call themselves purists. They're well, death metal has to have this, and this, and you don't have the same band members as you did when you started. I'm fuck, I don't have the same band members when we recorded Seven Churches as when we started. So,
right.
I'm not saying this to be mean. It's just kind of a fun little thing I try to do with people, and some people can get it, I think, but nobody's actually won this challenge yet.
Right.
But can you name me one band that's been around over 3 decades that has all foundational members?
Yeah. I can't think of anything offhand. Because a lot of the big bands have had changes over time. I mean,
everybody has changes. Yeah. They're fucking artists. It's like being married to 4 ugly women, dude. It's people die, people quit, people get fired, people want to be normal, people want to spend time with their kids, people get sick, people it's and also as a band leader, you're always trying to improve and tweak and get the perfect running motor.
Right.
And yeah, that's just the way it works. Sorry, I mean, that's just how bands work. So
yeah. So what are the plans once the album's out, as far as touring? What do you guys got on the books?
Well, we're going to go to Europe in June.
Excellent.
And we're going to do a U.S. tour in September. And we have some possible really big tours lined up, but I can't talk about those yet.
All right, cool.
We just shot a video.
Oh, awesome. For which song?
For Graven.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm not going to name drop, but I'm really good friends with famous actor Peter Stormare.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, you play Lucifer on Constantine with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
You know that dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my good friend, and so I was like, hey Peter, how much would you charge? He knows I'm fucking broke, and he's I'm like, how much would you charge for 2 to 4 hours of non-SAG video work for my video? He's like, brother, your money is no good here. I'm like, fuck, dude, that's so fucking cool. So the weekend before last, we met out in Hollywood, and it was cool. He played devil, and I played a priest.
Oh, cool. So when does that come out? When are you going to release that?
I don't really know. It should come out. I'm not even gonna guess. We're still in
production.
We're not even when they moved we did like the initial like principal video and in Hollywood, and they moved everything out to Atlanta, and that's where we're going to get all the actors and put the church together and do the whole scenery and set work. So cool. I did my part. Now it's just up to them to do theirs. So.
Awesome. That sounds cool. I can't wait to hear it or see it. That'll be cool.
I think it's going to be either really cool or really corny.
Well, the music's really cool, so even if the video is corny, it'll be awesome.
Yeah, and I think like just a few days ago, we did a video with Anders Odin and Dirk Verbuden from Megadeth.
Yeah.
And I sang backups on the new Cadaver single. Oh God, what's it called? Circle of. Oh shit. Anyway, it's out there. Fuck, I forget. I should sleep more, and I would remember. But yeah, so it's on the new Cadaver single. And Anders asked me to do a backup, and this is kind of a fun story because we were doing Dirk, from the drummer for Megadeth's wife Hannah, is a professional photographer, and she often works with like Decibel and Nuclear Blast, and you kind of become like a family,
Yeah.
And so they have this house where Hannah's studio was set up, and that's where we did the shoot where I'm sitting on the throne, and the velvet curtains and all the candles and rain skulls and shit. Well, that was over at Hannah's house, and we did a really cool photo shoot over there, and then they're like so cool. They're like such grown-ups. They have like a Keurig and everything like that. And we were drinking coffee, which was expensive coffee, you could tell. So I was impressed. Their house is a little like gingerbread house, like in the forest of Europe or something,
Oh.
So like, it's really cool. And when I came out, hey, there's Anders Odin from Satyricon and Celtic Frost and Ministry, and I'm like just fucking blindside me and shit. Like he's like, "What's up?" And you talk about how they were influenced by Possessed, and he's like, "Hey, could you just set you free into my cell phone real quick?" I'm like, wait, give me a disclaimer. Like, fucking, what's this for? And he's like, "Oh, we're doing a new single." And like, I know how like black metal and old school death metal goes. It's like all you need is a fucking sample. So I'm just like, yell into the cell phone, and he's like, "Good." I yelled twice, right? Like, good. I'm like, we're not even gonna tempo it or anything. Like, I was fucking like, you know what I mean? Like, we literally didn't have a metronome or anything. So I guess they made the whole video for like $250.
Oh, geez.
And yeah, and then he hits me up later, and he's like, "Hey man, I need some close-ups of you for your video part, your backups, right?" So I just, well, my iPad work? And he's like, "Yeah." So I'm the president for a club, CADM, all the West Coast chapters out here, and I set up one of my club banners behind me. It's like black with a upside down cross and 666 and a ram's head. It's the same tattoo I have on my left forearm. And so I put that and then I just like mouthing the words with the video playing in front of me. And then he like stuck that in there and like edited to make it look all fucking cool. Like it's totally OG. It's so old school. It's preschool, dude.
That's awesome.
But it's called hold on, I'll tell you. Anyway, so we won't talk about something else, and then Circle of Morbidity from Cadaver.
All right, cool.
So just go to the Cadaver site, and it's the only video up right now. So
awesome. I'll check it out, man. Sounds good. Hey, hey, Jeff, I just have one more question for you, and it's what's your favorite breakfast food?
Breakfast?
Yeah.
I like eggs a lot, like sunny side up.
Nice.
I like super hot, like fucking like jalapenos, and because I'm Mexican. I like hot like salsas and eggs and or omelets or menudo or
nice.
Limbo, like for a hangover, is really good, and it's good for breakfast.
Yeah.
And like anything, Mexican. So
cool.
Beans, rice, eggs, tortillas, salsa. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So,
or sometimes just a bowl of Raisin Bran. Good.
Awesome. With hot sauce?
No.
Awesome.
Pickles, dude. Just kidding.
Well, Jeff, man, I appreciate you talking with me. It's so good.
Right on, brother. Thanks for your time, man.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Ciao.